Welcome back, deep divers. Today, we are going to look into something that has, well, looked back at us for all of time.
The stars.
Yeah, the stars. The worship of celestial objects.
Fascinating, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Mhm.
And we've got a lot of ground to cover today. We've got ancient texts, we've got religious commentaries, even some modern analysis. So we're really going to get a sense of how different cultures have viewed, I guess not just the stars, but planets and the whole cosmos.
I think what's really interesting is how, it wasn't just about looking up and going, wow, pretty lights.
Yeah.
We're talking about societies that saw the sun, moon constellations as powerful forces, often linked to gods and the very fabric of existence.
So let's kick things off with ancient Mesopotamia, birthplace of some of the earliest civilizations. The Babylonians, they were pretty early astronomers, right?
Right, absolutely.
They were already connecting stars to deities and stuff.
Yeah, they were. But, the idea that the heavens are this literal home to like a whole pantheon of gods, that seems to be a little bit later.
Oh, interesting. So when did that develop?
What's fascinating is that it's right around the time that the Chaldeans, who were famous for their astrology, migrated into the region.
Mm.
And this is right around the time the Hebrew Bible was being written.
Oh, wow.
Makes you think.
Yeah, are you saying that those Babylonian ideas maybe shaped how the ancient Israelites were viewing the heavens? That's a connection I hadn't even thought of before.
It's definitely, a thought-provoking possibility. After all, we know how cultural exchange and migration play such a huge role in how beliefs spread and evolve.
For sure.
But let's shift our focus a bit to another ancient civilization obsessed with the stars.
Yeah.
The Egyptians. I find it so fascinating that even before their famous sun god Ra became dominant, they were already super into stargazing.
And they weren't just building elaborate tombs. Right?
Oh, no.
Those pyramids were astronomically aligned too.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the Great Pyramid points to Thuban, and that was the pole star way back then.
Right.
What do you make of that? I mean, planning for eternity.
Well, it's more than just planning. I mean, that level of precision, it speaks to a really profound understanding of the heavens and a desire to connect with the cosmos, even in death. But to really get their connection to the stars, we need to talk about Sirius.
Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. They had a goddess for that. Sopdet, right? She was a pretty big deal, wasn't she?
Oh, she was huge. What's really captivating about her is that she was directly linked to the annual flooding of the Nile.
Oh, wow.
So her rising on the horizon, the heliacal rising, as astronomers call it, it signaled the start of a new year, fertility. I mean, the whole lifeblood of Egyptian civilization depended on it.
So it wasn't just religious awe, huh? I mean, their understanding of the stars, it was about survival. If they could predict that Nile flood, they could prepare for it, ensure a bountiful harvest.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
It really is.
I mean, it makes you realize how closely their lives were just intertwined with the cosmos.
Absolutely. And that weaving of, celestial observation with daily life, with religious beliefs, it's something we're going to see in other cultures too as we go along.
Okay, speaking of other cultures, let's dive into a group that's shrouded in a bit of mystery. The Sabians.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got two distinct groups here, both from around the 9th or 10th century CE.
Right.
So what's the difference?
Well, you've got, the Sabians of Haran. They were remarkably able to maintain their pagan beliefs during the rise of Islam.
Wow.
And they resided in a Mesopotamian city and really integrated well into Islamic society. So, scholars have been debating, what were they actually doing? Were they secretly sacrificing to planets? Or, were they more like philosophers just kind of, masking their true beliefs?
So, little mystery there.
Yeah. It's a puzzle. It is. Historians are still working on.
And then you've got the, what are they called? The Sabians of the Marshes?
Yeah, the Sabians of the Marshes.
Down in southern Iraq.
Yeah.
And their belief system seems like it came straight out of ancient Babylon.
It really does.
Mesopotamian gods, but directly embodied by planets.
Exactly.
Talk about holding on to tradition.
It's amazing, right? I mean, it just shows how powerful certain beliefs are, how, they're passed down through generations. And it highlights how star worship wasn't just this one monolithic concept.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It manifested in these really diverse ways, and it reflected the unique cultural and historical context of each group.
So now let's journey eastward to China. where heaven worship was a driving force long before Confucianism or Taoism even came on the scene.
Right.
And then those philosophies kind of ended up absorbing elements of it, which is fascinating in itself.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how influential, this ancient belief system was.
Okay.
So, the Chinese had Shangdi, their supreme god, who later became linked with Tian, or heaven, representing this kind of like moral order that was woven into the universe itself.
Okay.
And maintaining that order. Well, that was the emperor's job.
So how did they keep things, in harmony with the cosmos? I mean, did they build giant pyramids too?
Not quite pyramids, but equally impressive structures for sure. So,
Yeah.
so to fulfill his cosmic duty, the emperor had to perform like these really elaborate rituals at the altar of heaven.
Oh, okay.
And the famous one in Beijing, that's a prime example. And, the stars, they played a crucial role in all of this. The Big Dipper and the North Star especially were seen as like these cosmic endorsements of the emperor's rule.
Like, it's almost like saying, hey, if you want to challenge my authority, you got to take it up with the stars themselves.
Exactly.
It's like a brilliant way to connect political power to something that seems so eternal, so unchanging.
It really is. It shows how, religion and politics were intertwined through this lens of star worship.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, like we've been seeing, this is a theme that we keep seeing over and over again.
Sure.
But let's shift our attention now to Japan.
Yeah.
They also drew inspiration from China, but with their own, unique cultural twist.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, so the Japanese had Maiken, a deity that was closely associated with the Big Dipper.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is that this deity was particularly popular among certain clans in eastern Japan.
Oh, that is intriguing. Do we know why those specific clans, were drawn to Maiken? Was it, do you think it gave them some kind of edge, like maybe a military advantage or something?
That's a question that historians are still kind of, exploring.
Yeah.
Some believe that it might have, actually played a role in their success.
Interesting.
But here's where things get really interesting. During the Heian period, pole star worship, it became a little bit too popular for the ruling class.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it involved mingling of men and women, which apparently back then was a big no-no, so they banned it.
Oh, so they outlawed stargazing because of a little socializing.
Yeah, it's
Talk about a cosmic crackdown.
it really was.
But it didn't disappear entirely, did
Oh,
it?
no. It went underground.
Oh, okay.
And it actually found its way into Onmidud, this system of Japanese esoteric cosmology and magic. It's a great example of how even when something's officially forbidden, it can persist in different forms.
Right,
and it
right.
really, speaks to that kind of human resilience, that refusal to abandon something that resonates deeply, even in the face of, authority.
Okay, so we've explored Mesopotamia, Egypt, those mysterious Sabians, the celestial politics of China, and the forbidden stargazing of Japan. What's next on our cosmic journey?
Well, let's head across the Pacific now and explore the incredibly diverse tapestry of indigenous American beliefs about the cosmos.
Yeah, please. I'm so eager to learn more about this.
Yeah.
From what I've read, it seems like their relationship with the heavens was so deeply intertwined with their daily lives, their spiritual practices.
Oh, absolutely. For indigenous cultures across the Americas, heavenly bodies weren't just, these distant objects in the sky. They were integral to their understanding of the world,
Yeah.
influencing everything from navigation and timekeeping to their connection with the spiritual realm, their ancestors.
Okay, so give me some specifics. Which celestial objects were particularly important to them?
Well, the Pleiades star cluster, that appears quite frequently in their stories and their beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
For many tribes, like the Lakota, the Wichita, the Pleiades were associated with agriculture, with the changing seasons, and the spirits of their ancestors.
That's beautiful. It's like they saw the sky as this living storybook,
Yeah.
filled with their history and traditions. It's so different from the way we often view the stars today, as these distant scientific objects.
It really is. And it wasn't just about worship, in the traditional sense of offering prayers to a deity.
Right.
It was about recognizing this profound interconnectedness between humans, nature, and the cosmos, a concept that, really resonates even in our modern world.
It does make you wonder if we've lost something along the way, that sense of being part of something so much larger than ourselves.
It's a perspective worth pondering for sure. But let's move on now to a fascinating and perhaps a bit more familiar chapter in our exploration of celestial reverence.
Yeah.
How the major modern religions have kind of grappled with this concept of astrology.
Okay.
The worship of heavenly bodies. It's a more complex and nuanced story than you might think.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's start with Judaism. From what I remember reading, the Hebrew Bible is pretty clear on this one. No worshiping the host of heaven.
Right.
But it seems like people weren't always so keen on following those rules, were they?
No, you're right. Despite the prohibitions, there's evidence that people continued to engage in practices that could be interpreted as astrology.
Yeah.
And one particularly intriguing example is the worship of the Queen of Heaven,
Yep.
which seemed to be particularly popular among women.
It makes you wonder about the motivations behind that. Were they rebelling against the established religious norms, or were they seeking, a different kind of connection with the divine?
It's a good reminder that religious practices, they often go beyond the official doctrines.
Right.
People find ways to connect with the divine that resonate with them.
Right.
Even if it goes against the grain.
For sure.
And this theme of seeking alternative paths to the sacred, it plays out in Christianity as well.
Oh, okay.
So while the church fathers, they condemned star worship, there are these intriguing moments in the Gospels that hint at a different perspective.
You're talking about the darkness that descended upon the land during the crucifixion, right?
Exactly.
Some see that as a cosmic sign of Jesus' divinity.
Yeah.
Like a celestial event that validates his sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got the story of the Star of Bethlehem, which guided the Magi to the newborn Jesus. This suggests that even within a religion that, officially denounces astrology, celestial events could still hold, this profound spiritual significance.
It's like they couldn't completely escape the allure of the heavens,
Right.
even when their doctrines told them to look away.
Okay, so where does Islam fit into all of this?
Well, Islam's stance on astrology is interesting because the Quran, it explicitly mentions the Sabians.
Right. Right.
Who we discussed earlier.
Right.
And it links them to star worship.
Right. And I remember you saying that some Islamic scholars even viewed the planets as like angelic spirits serving God.
Yeah.
That seems to blur the lines a bit, wouldn't you say?
It certainly does. And it just highlights that within any religion, there are these diverse interpretations, these different ways of understanding the relationship between humanity and the cosmos. So what does all of this tell us? I mean, it seems like we've uncovered this vast and complex history of beliefs and practices related to the stars.
It's a testament to our enduring fascination with the cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
and our innate desire to find meaning, to find connection in that vastness of space.
Yeah, no, what a journey. Mesopotamia, those Egyptian pyramids, the Sabians, Chinese emperors. It's incredible how much we've covered.
It really is. And what strikes me is just how consistently, across cultures and across like millennia, really, humans have looked to the sky for guidance, for meaning, even, for a source of power.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does.
What is it about those twinkling lights that just, have captivated us for so long?
Right.
I could keep thinking back to those ancient Egyptians, aligning their pyramids with such incredible precision. It's like, talk about like long-term planning.
Yeah.
And that connection between Sirius and the Nile flood, it's just mind-blowing how closely their lives and their beliefs were just intertwined with the stars.
What I find particularly fascinating is how even when major religions like Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they condemned the worship of celestial objects, there were still these subtle hints, these intriguing interpretations that kind of blurred the lines a bit.
Right, like they couldn't completely escape the allure of the heavens.
Yeah.
Even when their doctrines told them to focus elsewhere. It makes you wonder if there's something, just innate within us, like a deep-seated yearning to connect with the cosmos.
It's a profound thought, and it leads us to, I think, a final thought-provoking point. As we've seen what we call star worship, it wasn't simply about, venerating the stars themselves.
Yeah.
It was about, seeking to understand our place in the universe, about connecting to something grander, more enduring than ourselves, a way to find meaning, purpose, even a sense of power. And in a way, doesn't modern science with its exploration of the cosmos, doesn't it kind of continue this age-old quest in a way?
That's such an interesting connection. You're right. I mean, we've traded those celestial deities for black holes and dark matter, but that sense of wonder, that desire to unravel the mysteries of the universe and find our place within it, that's still very much alive.
Absolutely. So as you continue your own journey of discovery, keep an eye out for those echoes of celestial reverence for those cultures who found meaning, who found connection in the night sky. And maybe even ask yourself, do any modern spiritual practices still incorporate elements of astrology? The answers might surprise you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of celestial worship. Until next time, keep looking up. All right, ready to dive deep. Today we're taking on Doctor Who,
Yeah, Doctor Who.
which we both know has been around forever.
Right.
But even the biggest fans, I think, can learn new things about its history. So
I think so.
we're going to use the Wikipedia article to kind of go beyond the basics
Okay.
and see what we can uncover.
Sounds good.
So
What always amazes me is how it's so British, but also this worldwide thing.
Yeah.
It's like tea and crumpets with aliens.
yeah, it's true.
It's very strange.
It's the magic of it.
Yeah.
And speaking of magic,
Yeah.
the TARDIS, it's like more than just a time machine.
It's a symbol.
Yeah.
It's like the show's whole appeal.
Right. It's so iconic, that blue box.
And the fact that the BBC had to go to court
Oh, yeah.
to protect it from the police.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like
It's really ingrained.
ingrained in our culture.
And it's like you see this ordinary thing, and it's like a whole universe inside.
Yeah, it's this idea of like hidden depths, right?
It's adventure.
Yeah, and it's not just about the destination, right?
Yeah.
It's like who the Doctor takes with them.
Yeah, the companions.
Yeah. And they challenge the Doctor, and they're not just sidekicks.
No, they're like the heart of the show.
Yeah.
Like, think about Sarah Jane Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Started as a companion and ended up with her own show.
I know.
A whole new generation of fans.
It's true, yeah.
And it's like, that's how important those relationships are to
Right.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, and then there's like the regeneration,
Yeah, the regeneration.
which is like more than just a plot device.
It's not just to keep the show going.
Right.
It reflects the show's, evolution. Each Doctor brings something new.
Right.
Stays true to the core, fighting for good and all that.
It's interesting how that idea has evolved.
Mm-hmm.
It started as a way to keep it going,
Yeah.
but it's like so much more now.
Yeah, it's like different interpretations of the Doctor, different
Right.
personality.
And challenges assumptions about like gender and identity.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy to think it started as an educational show for kids.
I know, right? Like back in 1963,
Yeah.
you're expecting a history lesson,
Huh.
and you get aliens
Yeah.
and time travel.
And that first episode was delayed because of Kennedy's assassination.
Whoa.
Whoa. Talk about real world colliding with...
It's like a Doctor Who plot.
I know.
It's wild.
And it shows how the show even back then tapped into like what was going on in the world.
Yeah, the anxieties
Yeah.
and the hopes of the time.
And speaking of anxieties,
The Daleks.
oh my God, the Dalek stuff of nightmares.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
But they're iconic.
They are iconic, yeah.
And it's more than just how they look
right.
and exterminate. It's like
Oh.
a deeper fear.
Yeah.
Like unchecked power,
Yeah.
fanaticism.
Yeah.
Remember Genesis of the Daleks?
Oh, yeah.
That really goes into it.
The moral complexity.
Yeah.
Davro.
You see Davros
Yeah.
realizing what he's done.
I know,
It's
right.
chilling.
Right, he unleashed this on the universe.
Yeah.
And it makes them more than just killing machines.
Right.
They're a product of hate,
Yeah, and prejudice.
which makes them even scarier.
So scary.
Then there's the Cybermen,
The Cybermen.
like this dark mirror,
Yeah, obsessed with logic.
to the point of losing their humanity.
I know.
And they started as humans.
Yeah, from Earth's twin planet,
Right.
Mondas.
And slowly replace their bodies with parts.
It's like a warning
Yeah.
about technology.
Taken too far.
And they keep changing over time. It's
Yeah.
unsettling.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like they represent our fear of losing ourselves to progress.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the master.
Oh, the master.
The doctor's like ultimate enemy.
Renegade Time Lord.
Right. Can do good, can do evil.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The master is such a good opposite to the doctor.
Like they have the same background,
Different paths.
completely
But
different
I guess
paths.
we both regenerate.
I know.
And there was a female master, Missy.
I know. It's crazy.
So complex.
It's like a chess game
Mm-hmm.
with the universe at stake.
High stakes.
And we can't forget the music.
The music.
So iconic.
Oh, it's one of the most recognizable
I know, right?
TV themes ever.
That's like those eerie electronic sounds.
I read it was made using groundbreaking techniques
Oh, yeah. Delia Derbyshire.
at the BBC Radiophonic Workshop.
Yeah, she created the final version.
It was ahead of its time, and it's a shame she didn't get credit for so long.
I know, not until the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that music from the 60s
Mm-hmm.
still holds up today.
I know. It's just as haunting now.
Right.
It's like part of the show's DNA.
Yeah.
Takes you right back.
So it started in the UK, but it's gone worldwide.
It's huge in Australia.
Yeah.
And it's made inroads here in the U.S., too.
Yeah.
It's been on PBS and in syndication.
Yeah.
Gained a big following.
That's true.
And then with Disney Plus deal,
Oh, yeah. Starting in 2023,
huge.
it's going to reach even more people.
A whole new generation
Right.
worldwide.
It's exciting.
Very exciting.
But it wasn't always easy for the show.
Oh, no.
Reddit almost got canceled in the late 80s.
Yeah, competition was tough.
Yeah.
Especially Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Viewership was declining,
Right. It almost died.
but it survived.
Yeah. Thing.
And it's not just the main show.
Right.
There's spin-offs.
Whoa, tons of them.
So many.
Yeah. And they're not just random stories.
No, they add layers.
Right.
New characters.
And sometimes push boundaries further than the main show.
Oh, yeah. Stay tuned because in part 2, we're going to get into all that.
Yes, we are.
From Torchwood to the Sarah Jane Adventures
It's gonna be good.
and beyond.
All that and more.
All that and more.
So we're back in the TARDIS.
Back in the TARDIS.
This time exploring the world of spin-offs,
Spin-offs.
which adds so much
Yeah, they do.
to the Doctor Who universe.
They really flesh it out.
Yeah. And they're not just side stories.
You know, they're not.
They're like, they add layers,
Yeah.
introduce new characters.
And sometimes they're a little bit more daring.
Yeah, they push the boundaries
Uh-huh.
that maybe the main show can't.
It's like they showed different sides of the Doctor Who universe. Like
Mhm.
you have Torchwood.
Torchwood?
It's darker. It's more for adults.
Yeah, it's like, it's the show that goes where Doctor Who can't.
Exactly.
It's not afraid to deal with, like,
The messy stuff.
yeah,
The consequences.
alien tech, yeah.
Of all these big threats.
And it brought in a whole new audience.
Oh, yeah. People who maybe weren't into the main show.
Right, because it's a little more grown-up.
Right. It's more mature.
You're bringing back Captain Jack.
Oh, Captain Jack.
Was genius.
John Burrowman.
He's so great.
Yeah.
Oh, Captain Jack.
He's the best.
He really benefited from the spin-off.
Yeah, he did.
We got to know more about him.
His backstory, all that.
Yeah.
His complexity.
And he's immortal.
Yeah, all those shenanigans.
So much fun.
And we can't forget Russell T. Davies.
The mastermind.
Great. He created the revival.
And Torchwood.
He's got such a knack for creating good characters
Yeah, he does.
and like stories that really build on Doctor Who.
Expanding the mythology.
And then there's the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Oh, Sarah Jane.
Elizabeth Sladen.
A gift to the fans?
I know, and it introduced her to new fans.
A whole new generation.
So that's like a perfect spin-off.
Yeah, it really is.
It's got its own thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Jane's investigating aliens.
Right.
But it's still got that Doctor Who feel.
The wonder, the adventure.
Yeah, just for a younger audience.
Tailored for the kids.
And David Tennant and Matt Smith were in it,
That's right.
like as their doctors.
It was magical.
It really was. It was like a true continuation
Yeah, it showed respect
of her story.
for her past,
Yeah.
but also new adventures
Such a great tribute to her.
to her character and Elizabeth Sladen. And even K9 got a spin-off.
K9
The robot dog.
in Australia.
Yeah, and K9 and Company.
That's right.
It shows how popular the companions are.
Yeah, even the robot.
That they get their own shows.
It's great.
But not every spin-off works.
Yeah, some are better than others.
Like class.
Class!
It was interesting.
The idea was good.
Yeah, students at Coal Hill School.
A place with a long history.
Right, connected to the doctor.
I remember watching it.
Me too. I was so excited,
Yeah.
but also nervous.
Like, is this gonna be good?
I know.
It had potential.
It did, exploring the teenage perspective,
Right.
but it just didn't quite work.
I don't know, it felt like it struggled.
Yeah, it was ambitious.
Yeah, trying to do too much, maybe.
Yeah,
But it was an experiment.
it was.
And maybe we'll see those characters again.
You never know.
You never know with Doctor Who.
And there's a new one coming out.
The war between the land and the sea.
Just the title.
So exciting.
I know, it sounds epic.
And Russell T. Davies is doing it.
I have high hopes.
Me too.
The Sea Devils are back.
Classic monsters.
Kate Stewart's back.
Gemma Redgrave.
I think we're in for a wild ride.
I think so too.
It's exciting to see the Doctor Who universe keep growing.
Oh, he's expanding.
And it's not just spin-offs.
Right.
There's those charity specials.
Oh, the charity specials.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Children in need, comic relief.
They're not afraid to make fun of themselves.
Yeah. And there's always surprises,
And cameos.
like dimensions in time.
The dimensions in time.
Crossing over with EastEnders.
It was wild.
What a combination.
Like those two worlds colliding.
I know.
And for the 20th anniversary, they did the 5 Doctors.
Oh, yeah, for Children in Need.
All was Doctors.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
But my favorite
Oh, yeah.
is Doctor Who and the Curse of Fatal Death.
Oh, the comic relief one.
Yes, written by Stephen Moffat.
Such a good parody.
Rowan Atkinson as the Doctor.
Regenerating into Richard E. Grant.
Then Jim Broadbent.
And Hugh Grant.
And finally, Joanna Lumley.
Comedy gold.
It really is.
It shows how much people love the show.
Yeah, that it can be parodied so well.
And it's not just that one.
No, it's everywhere.
Doctor Who is everywhere.
Saturday Night Live, The Simpsons.
The Big Bang Theory.
It's seeped into our culture.
It really
And the
has.
fans make their own parodies, too.
Yeah.
Peter Davison even made one.
The 5-ish Doctors reboot.
I love that.
It's so heartwarming.
It shows how much people care.
So much love and respect.
But we've only looked at the visual side.
Right? There's more.
There's a whole other world,
A world of sound.
the audio dramas.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, time to put on those headphones
Right.
and enter the world of sound.
The audio dramas.
Doctor Who audio dramas.
Yeah.
It's like you take away the visuals and you just listen.
You have to use your imagination.
Yeah.
Like a radio play, but with Doctor Who.
Right. It's like you close your eyes and the story just plays out.
Exactly.
The soundscape
Oh, yeah.
are so immersive.
The TARDIS.
The dialects.
The music.
It's amazing.
It really draws you in.
And they don't just redo old stories.
No.
They explore new stuff.
New corners of the Whoniverse.
Yeah.
Backstories, new characters.
I've heard so much about Big Finish.
Big Finish.
They're like the big name in Doctor Who audio.
They're the best.
They've been doing it since 1999.
A long time.
And they've got a huge fan base.
They have a really dedicated following.
I heard their main series
The Monthly Adventures.
has a Guinness World Record
It does.
for the longest running science fiction audio series.
Pretty impressive.
That's amazing.
It really shows how much people love it.
And they have stories for every Doctor.
Yeah, that's right.
From the first
To the 14th.
and even beyond.
Even beyond.
It's crazy.
It's like having a ton of lost episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not lost.
And they do different genres, too.
Oh, yeah.
Historical adventures.
Comedies.
Thrillers.
There's something for everyone. For every taste.
I heard about their adaptation of Spare Parts,
Spare Parts.
which is a lost episode
A classic.
about the Cybermen.
So chillin'.
People say it's one of their best.
It really gets under your skin.
And then there's The Legacy of Time
Oh, yeah?
with Sarah Jane.
UN. Bernice Summerfield.
It's like a big crossover.
Brings everyone together.
I love how they do that.
Yeah, connecting all the different parts of Doctor Who.
It's like a reward for the fans.
Yeah, if you've been following along.
You get all these connections.
It creates this amazing continuity
Like a whole alternate history.
alongside the show.
Expanding on everything.
So much depth.
But Big Finish isn't the only one.
Right, the BBC does audio dramas too,
Like the Adventure Games.
with Matt Smith and Karen Gillan.
Oh, yeah, like playing an episode of the show. Interactive. Part of the official story.
And then there's the video game,
The video games.
Dalek Attack,
The Eternity Clock.
Doctor Who, Legacy.
So many choices. It's like you become the Doctor.
Making decisions that matter.
Whole other way to experience it.
More immersive.
And so many different types of games.
Puzzles, adventures, even online games.
There's something for every type of gamer.
Just like with the audio dramas.
It's crazy how this one show
with a simple idea,
A time traveler and their companion.
has created this whole multimedia empire.
It's amazing.
Tower of imagination.
And those core Doctor Who themes.
Exploration.
Good versus evil.
It's been quite a journey,
It has.
this deep dive into Doctor Who.
We've covered a lot.
History, characters, spin-offs.
Parodies, audio dramas, even video games.
But there's still so much more.
Always more to discover.
So if you're a fan,
Revisit those old episodes.
explore the expanded universe.
Find those hidden gems.
And if you're new to Doctor Who,
Take that first step.
into the TARDIS.
You never know where you might end up.
Until next time.
Keep those sonic screwdrivers handy.
And remember,
The universe is vast.
then what? Just waiting to be explored.
Geronimo.
Welcome back for another deep dive. You know, we've been talking about diving into the whole going viral thing and figuring out just how things catch on and spread like wildfire these days.
Yeah.
It feels like something is always going viral.
Right, right.
So today we're going to use the Wikipedia entry on viral phenomenon to kind of break it all down.
Okay, sounds good.
So I've been doing a little reading, and I gotta say, some of this stuff is fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did you know the word meme has been around longer than the internet?
I didn't realize that.
And then there's all this stuff about YouTube and how these social media algorithms decide what we even see online.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
It really does. So to kick things off, let's start with the basics.
Okay, sure.
The Wikipedia article defines a viral phenomenon or viral sensation as objects or patterns that replicate themselves and then spread really rapidly just through exposure.
Right, yeah, like a virus.
Exactly. It's like the more people see it, the faster it spreads.
It's not just an analogy, though.
Oh.
The article really leans into that comparison, using the term epidemic spread to explain how virality works.
Huh. Interesting.
If you think about it like a disease, if every infected person infects more than one other person,
Okay.
that's when you see that exponential growth, just like a virus spreading.
Makes sense. So this idea of going viral, has it actually been around longer than the internet?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Huh.
Think about Martin Luther's 95 Theses back in the 16th century.
Okay.
The printing press basically allowed his ideas to explode across Europe.
Wow, that's a great point. It's like a classic example of pre-internet virality.
Exactly.
So before the internet, we had things like word of mouth and the printing press, but what about those early online platforms?
Oh, those were definitely part of the evolution, too.
Right.
Remember CompuServe?
Yeah, big.
It was like an early version of the internet, and people could share news and information electronically.
Oh, so it was kind of like a precursor to all the social media we have today.
Exactly. It was a really early sign of how the internet would eventually shape the way things go viral.
Wow, that's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Right.
And speaking of the internet, the Wikipedia article talks about memes being the building blocks of virality.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? They spread so quickly.
Absolutely. And it ties into this whole concept of cultural replicators.
Cultural replicators.
It's an idea that Richard Dawkins explored in his book, The Selfish Gene.
Okay.
He argues that memes basically act like genes, but for culture.
So they replicate and evolve as they spread through a culture?
Exactly. And sometimes they even mutate along the way.
So it's not really a stretch to say that memes are like little viruses of culture.
You got it.
They spread ideas in the same way a virus spreads a disease.
It's a really powerful analogy, and it can get pretty complex.
How so?
Well, even things that start out as harmless fun can be twisted and used for different agendas.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Think about those Vince McMahon memes.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
They started as silly jokes, but then people started using them to spread negativity.
Huh, it's true.
It's like a reminder that these things, like viruses, can evolve and be used for all sorts of purposes.
It makes you wonder then what types of things usually go viral and why they catch on the way they do.
Right. It's not always obvious.
So the Wikipedia article actually breaks down viral videos into several categories.
Okay.
You've got your unintentional videos, the ones that kind of go viral by accident.
Yeah.
Humorous videos, of course.
The ones that are just meant to make people laugh.
Exactly. And musical videos, too.
Think Justin Bieber. He's a classic example of someone who got his start through a viral video.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing how those videos can launch entire music careers.
Right. And it's not just limited to established platforms anymore.
What do you mean?
Think about TikTok. There are so many artists like Flyana Boss and Tom Rosenthal who've blown up because of viral TikTok videos.
That's true. TikTok has become a real force in the music industry.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So then you've got your promotional videos.
The ones that are created specifically for marketing and brand awareness.
Right. And then charity videos, the ones trying to raise awareness or donations.
Like that Ice Bucket Challenge a few years back.
Oh, yeah, that was huge. Everyone was doing it.
It really shows you the power of a viral video to bring attention to a cause.
It does. And the article also mentions art performances and political videos.
Yeah, those can be really powerful too.
Like, think about Obama's Yes We Can campaign.
Oh, yeah. That was incredibly effective.
And then the role of social media in the Arab Spring.
Right. It just goes to show you that anything can go viral as long as it captures people's attention.
Like that Numa Numa video, remember that?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
That was one of the first big viral hits, and it was just a guy lip-syncing to a Romanian pop song.
It's true. You just never know what's going to hit that sweet spot.
It's the beauty and the unpredictability of it all, right?
Yeah. But it's not always fun in games, though.
Oh,
Things can take a darker turn.
how so?
Well, the article talks about how these social media algorithms, the ones that are supposed to help us find things we like,
Yeah,
well, they can actually end up promoting harmful content too, even unintentionally.
yeah. That's scary, but I guess it makes sense.
They're designed to show us what they think we want, but that can lead to things like misinformation or even extremist content spreading faster.
That's a really good point.
Platforms are constantly trying to play catch up, but it's a tough battle.
It's true.
Like TikTok, for instance, it's amazing at spreading content,
Yeah.
but they've still been criticized for promoting harmful ideologies, even with content moderation in place.
I see what you mean. So these platforms are kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
They connect us and expose us to new things,
Right.
but they also create this potential for negative or even harmful content to spread really quickly.
It's a tough balancing act for these companies, for sure.
It seems like walking a tightrope.
Absolutely. And it's a good reminder that we need to be really careful about what we consume online.
And think critically about the information we're seeing,
Exactly. We can't just take everything at face value.
especially in this age of viral content.
Being able to evaluate information and think for yourself is more crucial than ever.
Couldn't agree more. Well, speaking of viral content,
Yeah.
I feel like YouTube is where a lot of things really go viral.
Yeah.
So do you think it's played a major role in the whole rise of viral phenomena?
Oh, without a doubt. YouTube completely changed how we consume and share content.
It's true. It's so easy to watch and share videos.
Right, and it's got this massive user base, which makes it the perfect breeding ground for things to go viral.
It's like that Susan Boyle audition on Britain's Got Talent. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Her performance went viral on YouTube, and suddenly she was a global star.
It's amazing how quickly that happened.
I remember reading that her video even got more views than American Idol that year.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. It's crazy how YouTube can launch someone to fame like that almost overnight.
Yeah, but it's not just about individual videos either.
Okay.
YouTube really embodies what we call Web 2.0 and participatory culture.
Web 2.0, what's that?
It basically means that it's the users who are creating the content, not big media companies.
Oh, I see.
And YouTube thrives on that user-generated content and all the engagement it brings.
So it's all about everyday people creating and sharing their own stuff.
Exactly. Like the Coney 2012 video, that's a perfect example.
Oh, yeah. That campaign spread like wildfire on YouTube.
It really did. It raised so much awareness about Joseph Kony and the LRA.
It was a powerful demonstration of how YouTube can be used for more than just entertainment.
Right. It can be a force for social change, too.
Absolutely. But, like we were saying earlier,
Yeah.
there are always two sides to every coin.
That's true.
I imagine a campaign spreading that fast probably also sparked a lot of debate.
You're right, it did.
It's a good reminder that even well-intentioned content can have unintended consequences.
Yeah, that's something we always have to keep in mind.
Especially with something as powerful as virality.
Absolutely. It's a force that needs to be understood and approached carefully.
Well, before we get too deep into that,
Yeah?
what about viral marketing?
Yes, that's a whole other beast.
It seems like every company these days is trying to create the next viral sensation.
It's true. Viral marketing has become a huge part of many marketing strategies.
And why not? They've seen what can happen. Think about the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah. That was a brilliant campaign.
They took a jab at Chick-fil-A on Twitter, and it sparked a massive frenzy.
There were lines around the block. Their sales went through the roof.
That's viral marketing done right.
It really is. A well-executed social media campaign can generate incredible buzz.
And all that buzz translates into real results for these companies.
Exactly. But it also brings up some ethical considerations.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Where do you draw the line between genuine engagement and manipulation?
Right. It's tricky.
It feels like a gray area.
It definitely is. And the Wikipedia article even mentions concerns about these automated marketing messages on social media.
Oh, where companies try to mimic organic interactions.
Exactly. It's a reminder that authenticity is really important.
People can usually spot a fake from a mile away.
It's true. They're much more likely to trust recommendations from real people.
So it's not just about creating something catchy. It's about building real connections.
Absolutely. And fostering a sense of community around a brand.
It all comes back to authenticity, doesn't it?
You got it. But it's interesting how the concept of virality goes beyond just the internet.
Oh, in what way?
The Wikipedia article mentions something called financial contagion in macroeconomics.
Financial contagion. I'm not sure I've heard of that.
It's basically the idea that disturbances in financial markets can spread globally,
Really?
just like a virus.
So like a domino effect, where one event triggers a whole chain reaction.
Exactly. Think of the 2008 financial crisis.
Okay.
The collapse of Lehman Brothers had a ripple effect that was felt around the world.
Wow. That's intense.
It shows how interconnected our world really is and how seemingly isolated events can have huge global consequences.
It's true. Everything is connected these days.
It really is.
So we've talked a lot about the mechanics of how things go viral, but what about the different perspectives on the whole idea of viral content?
Oh, yeah. That's important to consider, too.
The Wikipedia article mentions that there are both positive and negative viewpoints.
Right. Some people are concerned about the uncritical spread of ideas.
And how it could potentially lead to harmful or misleading information being shared really quickly.
Exactly. And that fear is reflected in some works of science fiction, too.
Oh, really? Like what?
There's this novel called Snow Crash that talks about a dangerous metavirus that can actually infect people's minds.
Whoa, that's pretty freaky.
It's like a cautionary tale about what could happen if virality is left unchecked.
I see what you mean.
But on the other hand, there are also those who see virality as a positive force.
How so?
They view it as a way to democratize information and give individuals a voice.
I can see that. It's like everyone has a platform now.
Exactly, and that's where the idea of network culture comes in.
Network culture.
It emphasizes how audiences aren't just passively consuming content anymore.
Oh, they're actively participating.
Right. They're curating, amplifying, and even creating the content that spreads.
So it's like this massive conversation where everyone has the potential to contribute and shape the flow of ideas.
Exactly. And that brings us to the theories of Gabriel Tard and Tony B. Sampson.
Okay, what do they say?
They focus on the idea of social imitation as a key driver of viral phenomena.
Social imitation. What's that all about?
Well, it's basically the idea that people, we are constantly mimicking each other, sharing ideas, and shaping the culture,
Okay.
all through our online interactions.
Oh, so it's like a constant back and forth, this feedback loop that drives those trends and ideas we see spreading.
Yeah, exactly. It really makes you think, like, now that we understand how things go viral, can we actually, like, predict what's going to catch on next?
That's the question, isn't it? Like, imagine knowing what's going to be the next big thing.
It would be incredible, right?
Yeah.
Well, predicting virality is, it's a tricky business.
Right.
There's no, like, magic formula or anything.
Yep.
But understanding those underlying principles, like we talked about, the social imitation, the emotional triggers, those network effects,
Okay.
it gives us some insight, at least.
So you're saying it's not just about luck, like there's some skill involved too.
Oh, absolutely. There are definitely strategies and techniques that can increase the likelihood of something taking off.
Like what?
Well, things like crafting those catchy headlines,
Okay.
appealing to people's emotions, using influencers to spread the word.
So it's like a mix of art and science.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
You need that great idea, but you also need to know how to package it and promote it the right way.
Yeah, exactly. And don't forget that context matters a lot, too.
Oh, right.
What might go viral in one culture or community might not have the same impact in another.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, there's no, like, one-size-fits-all approach.
You have to really understand your audience.
Yeah, and tailor that message accordingly.
It's about meeting them where they are.
Right, and speaking their language.
Exactly. And timing is everything, too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, timing is crucial.
Like what's trending today might be old news tomorrow.
It's about capturing that zeitgeist, the spirit of the moment.
It's like catching a wave.
I like that.
Yeah, you got to be in the right place at the right time and ride that wave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like a wave, viral phenomena eventually crest and break.
Some fade away while others leave a lasting impact.
Yeah, it makes you think, what makes the difference?
That's a good question. What determines if something has staying power?
It's tough to say for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes down to quality.
Oh, like the content itself.
Yeah, does it offer something truly valuable? Is it informative, entertaining?
Okay.
Or is it just a superficial fad that people lose interest in quickly?
It's like anything else, I guess. Some things are timeless and others are just a product of the moment.
Exactly. And sometimes the most unexpected things become cultural touchstones.
While carefully crafted campaigns just fall flat.
It's true. That's what makes it all so
Well,
unpredictable.
So we can analyze all we want,
Yeah.
understand the mechanics,
Uh-huh.
but ultimately, we can't really control what goes viral.
It's like trying to predict the weather.
Exactly.
But we can learn from the past.
Oh, from other viral phenomena.
And use that knowledge to inform our own strategies.
Okay, so what would you say are some key takeaways for someone who wants to, create something that really resonates?
Well, first and foremost, focus on that quality. Create engaging content that provides value.
Okay.
Don't just chase trends for the sake of it.
People can see through that.
Oh, they can definitely tell when something's not genuine.
Right.
Be authentic, be passionate, be yourself.
It all goes back to that authenticity.
Yeah, people connect with realness.
So what else should people keep in mind?
Well, think about your target audience. Who are you trying to reach? What kind of content will resonate with them?
Okay.
Tailor that message to the platform, the community you're engaging with.
Meet your audience where they are.
Yeah, exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Try new things.
See what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
Learn from those mistakes.
So it's all about constantly refining your approach.
Yeah. And remember, patience is key.
It takes time.
Virality doesn't usually happen overnight.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And even if your content doesn't go viral,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean it's not successful.
Oh, that's a good point.
There's value in reaching a smaller but engaged audience.
So true.
Sometimes the most meaningful content resonates with a niche group.
That's just as important.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's not just about going viral.
Right.
It's about building those connections, sparking conversations, and hopefully making a positive impact, however big or small.
I love that. Well said. So I'm curious, what are some examples of viral phenomena you've seen lately that have really stuck with you?
One that comes to mind is the rise of cottagecore aesthetics.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that everywhere.
It's that trend that romanticizes a simpler, more rural lifestyle.
Like those cozy cottages, homemade crafts, nature scenes.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like everyone's yearning for a simpler life these days.
It's true. What do you think's driving that trend?
I think it taps into this longing for a slower pace of life,
Okay.
a connection to nature, a sense of community. In a world that feels so chaotic and uncertain,
Yeah.
cottagecore offers this sense of peace, this escape.
It's like a digital retreat from modern life.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fascinating how it's shown up everywhere.
Yeah. From fashion and home decor,
To
music, and even literature.
It's like it's become this whole cultural phenomenon, reflecting a collective desire for something different, something more grounded.
It's true. It's amazing how these trends pop up and spread so quickly, seemingly out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what's next. Like, what's the next big viral sensation waiting to happen?
That's the exciting part. We can speculate all we want,
Right.
analyze trends.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's this collective unconscious that decides what goes viral.
It really is unpredictable.
The landscape is always changing, always evolving.
Makes it fun to watch, though.
It does. It's like we're all part of this giant experiment, constantly shaping and being shaped by the flow of information.
It's pretty wild when you think about it.
It really is. It's fascinating, constantly changing.
It makes you wonder if, now that we're kind of aware of how it all works, if knowing how things go viral could actually change the way things go viral in the future.
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, could understanding the mechanics change the game somehow?
It's definitely possible, I mean, as we become more media literate,
Yeah.
right, and understand the forces at play,
Yeah.
we might become less susceptible to manipulation.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like maybe we'll start engaging with content more critically, more consciously.
So the future of virality, instead of being about like mindless sharing,
Yeah.
could be more about thoughtful engagement.
I think that's a real possibility.
Mm.
As we become more aware of the impact of our online actions,
Right.
we might start to see a shift towards more responsible sharing.
Oh, focusing on quality over quantity. So
Exactly.
instead of just chasing viral fame, we might prioritize creating content that actually matters.
Even if it reaches a smaller audience.
Yeah, that's a really encouraging thought.
It is. It suggests that the future of virality could be about building those genuine connections,
Yeah.
fostering understanding, creating a more positive and informed online experience for everyone.
I like that. Well, this has been amazing. This deep dive has been so fascinating. I feel like I have a whole new perspective on how things go viral.
I agree. It's been great exploring this with you.
And to all our listeners, keep exploring. Dive into network science, memetics, the influence of mass media.
Yeah, and as you encounter those viral phenomena out in the wild,
Uh-huh.
take a second to think about what made them spread.
Yeah, what made them tick?
Ask yourselves, how can we use our understanding of virality to create a better, more meaningful online experience for everyone?
Lots to think about. Well, that's a wrap on another deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep those brains buzzing.